Most people scrolling through Zillow right now have never even heard of Fairview, Tennessee. And I get it. It doesn't have the buzz of Franklin, the name recognition of Brentwood, or the downtown scene of Nashville. But I'm going to make an argument today that for a very specific type of buyer, Fairview might actually be the smartest move in all of Williamson County. I'm talking about space. I'm talking about value. I'm talking about a lifestyle that people pay a premium for everywhere else. And here you can actually afford it. Stay with me because there are a few things about Fairview that nobody in real estate wants to talk about. The good and the honest. Before we dive in, if you've already researching a move to the Nashville area, whether that's Fairview, Franklin, Brentwood, or anywhere in Williamson County, I talk to families just like yours every week. So whether you move in 30 days or 6 months away, reach out. There's a link in the description, zero pressure, just real information. There's also links to my free Nashville relocation guide and to a free home search tool. Now, let's get into it. Fairview sits about 35 miles west of downtown Nashville on I-40. It's technically in Williamson County, which is one of the fastest growing and most affluent counties in the entire country. That matters for schools, for tax dollars, and for long-term property values. Now, here's what most people get wrong. They hear 35 miles and they think that's too far. But if you're commuting into Brentwood or Cool Springs corridor, you're looking at a much shorter and more manageable drive. And with remote and hybrid work being the norm, a lot of buyers are finding that the extra miles are more than worth the trade-off. Let me be straight with you. The number one thing people say when they first drive through Fairview is, I didn't expect it to look like this, because Fairview still feels rural in all the right ways. We're talking rolling hills, open pasture land, and that classic Tennessee countryside that you see on screensavers. When families come in from California, New York, or Illinois, places where the only green they see is a park median, they almost don't know what to do with themselves. There's an actual breathing room here. Kids play outside, neighbors wave, the pace is slower in the best possible way. And because a large portion of the land around Fairview is still protected or undeveloped, that scenery isn't going anywhere. You're not buying in a town that's going to look like a strip mall in 5 years. The character is baked in. Okay. Let's talk numbers, because this is where Fairview gets really interesting. In Brentwood, the average existing home sale is between $900,000 and well over $1 million. Franklin is starting around 1.1. If you want new construction in any of those markets at reasonable square footage, you're pushing into the 1.2 to 1.5 range without blinking. In Fairview, you can find well-built new construction homes, real quality, not builder-grade throwaway, starting in the mid-600s. And when I say more space, I mean it. We're talking larger lots, bigger backyards, more square footage under roof. For the family coming in from out of state who's been living in an 1,800 square foot house on a postage stamp lot and paying $2 million for it in the Bay Area, Fairview is almost hard to believe. You get a 2,500 square foot home, a real yard, you're still in Williamson County. And here's the strategic angle that most buyers don't think about. Fairview is what Franklin was 15 years ago. The infrastructure is improving, the population is growing, and the buyers who get in now are positioning themselves for serious appreciation over the next decade. I want to spend a minute on Bowie Nature Park because this is a place generally special and most people outside of Fairview have no idea it exists. We're talking over 700 acres of protected green space right here in town. There are miles of hiking and mountain biking trails, creek crossings, picnic areas, and the kind of outdoor access that people in bigger cities pay a serious premium to be near. Some of the trails take you through the forest so thick you'd swear you were in the Smoky Mountains. For families with active kids, or honestly for anyone who values getting outside, this is a legitimate quality of life differentiator. Bowie isn't just a park, it's a reason people stay in Fairview. I've had buyers who were on the fence about the location take one walk through Bowie and make the decision on the spot. And it's free, open to the public, right in your backyard if you buy here. Here's something that surprises a lot of relocating families because Fairview is in Williamson County. Your kids are zoned into Williamson County's school district, which is consistently ranked as one of the best school districts in the entire state of Tennessee. This is not a small thing. This is one of the primary reasons families are leaving high-tax states and choosing Williamson County in the first place. You get access to those schools while paying Fairview prices, not Brentwood prices. That's a real advantage. One of the things you generally cannot capture in a Zillow listing is what a community actually feels like to live in. And Fairview has something that larger, more developed suburbs often lose as they grow: a real small town identity. There's a sense of knowing your neighbors here. People stop and talk at the grocery store. There are local events, community gatherings, and a culture of folks who choose this place deliberately, not just because it's convenient or cheap, but because they wanted a different pace of life. For families coming from dense metro areas, that culture shock is the best way. It often seals the deal. It's the thing they don't know they needed it until they felt it. Okay, I told you at the start I was going to be honest, so here it is. Fairview is not for everyone, and I'd rather you know that now than figure it out after closing. Fairview does not have the restaurant scene of Franklin or the boutique shopping of downtown Brentwood. The commercial development is more functional than trendy. You've got your essentials, but you're not walking to a rooftop bar on a Friday night. If walkability, nightlife, or being 10 minutes from a dozen restaurant options is a non-negotiable for you, Fairview feels isolating. That's just the truth. But here's the flip side. The buyers who thrive in Fairview are the ones who want to retreat. They want the space between them and the world. They want to come home and feel like they actually came home to somewhere real. If that's you, Fairview will exceed your expectations in ways you haven't even imagined yet. Let me paint a quick picture of the buyer who absolutely loves life in Fairview. You're relocating from a high-cost state, California, New York, Illinois, the Northeast, or you're done paying $1 million for a house with no yard and a 2-hour commute. Or you have kids and you're planning to. You work remotely, hybrid, or you're commuting into Brentwood or Cool Springs area. You want a Williamson County school district without a Williamson County price tag. And you want to feel like you actually live somewhere, not just sleep in a box between commutes. If any part of that description sounds like you, Fairview deserves a serious look. If this video gave you a real picture of life in Fairview, the good and the honest, then I've done my job, because that's all I'm ever trying to do here. Give you the information you get from a friend who actually lives and works in this market, not a glossy brochure. If you're seriously considering a move to Fairview or anywhere in Williamson County, I'd love to be your guide. I get calls and messages every week from families exactly like yours, and I genuinely love helping people find the right fit, not just the right house. Whether you're 30 days from a move or just starting to explore, reach out. There's a link in the description to connect with me directly. And if you're still doing your research, I've got videos on Franklin, Brentwood, and new construction builders right here on the channel. I'll link those in a couple right now. Hit subscribe if this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.